Okay folks, Tie-Dye here from the Mountain Wanderer channel. I have made a little change to my Durston xmid one-person tent. I knew that they had put out a new version of this, which I didn't want to buy the whole version because I just didn't want to spend that much money. But what I did do is I purchased the new inner, the new mesh on the inside, because they made it larger and made some other changes to it. But to make that work with the version 2 fly, there were some changes that I needed to make to it, and that's what I'm going to show you today. Now on my version 2 that I had on here, now I've already replaced it, that's the reason this is after the fact, that had mitten clips like what you see here. But in the version 3 they had little buckles. This was on this line here. And if I had the new fly as well, it would have had the corresponding snap on that side that this would snap into. Well, to make this work, what I had to do is untie this here, take that other buckle off, and just add a mitten clip to match the D-rings here. On all four corners they had the buckles instead of mitten clips. Now also at the top, let me unclip this for you. Is a different size of, or style and size of clip. Now this is not it. I'm going to insert a picture of what it did look like. What I did was to make the new buckle match the version 2 buckle that was already attached to this tent. All I had to do was just simply take the ribbon, take it off of this ribbon here, the grosgrain, and put the old buckle from the version 2 mesh on here, and then just snap it back in place. That's all that was required. So two things that you have to do to make it compatible: put mitten clips back on all four corners, and then just swap out the buckle on the version 3 to the version 2 buckle, just on this grosgrain, and that way it snaps in there and holds it up tight. Now I do, while I'm showing this, going to go ahead and show you the size difference. A few differences on this new inner, and the reason I bought this to replace my other inner is because of the extra room. If you remember, this tent, the inside is, the inner mesh is on a diagonal, which gives you more length and just a little more room. And this corner was more in about right here, I think. So it was less, it was just a little less space. It also did not have this strut, which is what is another difference here. That little strut that's in there, and you can see the two cords that run out to that corner. That holds this mesh out much better, which gives more room this way. Also, they've added pockets right here and right here. They have expanded the peak pockets and put a little piece of elastic in it to help things stay in it. There's one on both peaks here, which is really nice. They have changed up the zipper, which I'm not necessarily, that was not something I was interested in. I like the old D-style zipper. It's one-handed operation. I never had a problem with it. But now they've got it, it's two separate zippers, one that goes vertical, one that goes horizontal. And they meet right here, and they have a little parking garage for it, which I do not like because the zippers, they catch on it. It's just not, it's not ideal. Also, another thing I've noticed is once you've got it zipped here, maybe you want to only unzip the bottom one and reach out and grab something. With both of these in this little parking garage, you can't tell really which zipper is which. So I'm probably going to color code, maybe change one out to a different color so I know that's the vertical, and leave the other one black, which I will know is the horizontal. This is minor. I can get used to this. Now, when you're unzipping from the outside, you don't have the issue with the little parking garage thing because it's just not in the way. Your hands are on the outside. But I can tell a great deal of difference in the amount of room. I've got a lot, seems like a lot more shoulder and headroom because of the way they've got it. It's a little bit wider as well, a tad longer on these diagonal corners here where the struts are. And with that strut, it's also pulling out and pulling this up and out of the way, so I've got more room that way. I've always been able to keep my pack in here with me. It's not ever been an issue, but I see it's going to even be more convenient because I used to put it on my left when I'm laying down the left side, and I could just put it there with my sleeping pad up against it. It would work just fine. But I'm thinking now I'm going to move it to my right because it's a little more vertical right there, which it'll fit just fine. Love these pockets here. I don't know how much weight it's going to hold. On my next trip I'll see how well that does. I like how they've got the strut in there that really raises that. The mesh actually is a little bit taller, and I was afraid that it might create more sag in the mesh, but it didn't when I tightened that all the way up on that buckle, and it's not any sag in it at all. They added which I had done this on my other mesh. I had added my own little grosgrain ribbons for a clothesline, but they already had that on here, so all I had to do was take the clothesline out of my other mesh and just add it in here. So that worked great. Oh yeah, there's another thing. They have, let me see, it's kind of gotten tangled up here. They added a magnetic catch for the screen, for the mesh. It was already on the door, the fly door, but they've added it now onto the mesh, which makes it easy. See, I just did that one-handed. I just rolled that up out of the way, and I can snap that up there. On the old mesh, the version 2 mesh, it had some little bungee type cord that you tie, which wasn't a big deal. I never had a problem with it. Other people complained, but I really didn't have an issue with it. But I do like the magnet. It makes it nice. I don't have this thing staked out very tight. I'll do a better job when I actually camp. But I'm really pleased so far with it. The new version 3 Fly, had I gotten it, they made changes to it in a way that it wasn't anything that I was interested in. They did change the color. They made it darker, which I do like that, but that was not necessary. They shortened it a little bit, I think. They made it just a couple inches. They made it where not the length, the width. They shortened the width of it by a couple of inches, which is not a big deal to me. I think that was about it on that. I would have been interested in purchasing the Fly as well, the version 3, had they made double zippers where you could actually unzip from the top and the bottom, but they didn't, so I wasn't worried about it. Also, I think on that new Fly, the vent is not on the door here. It's down on the end, which I don't have a problem with it being here. That has never been an issue. But all in all, I'm pleased with making this retrofit of the version 3 inner to my version 2 Fly. It is not a problem to do. It's easy. I understand that they are going to make and have on hand where you can order the buckles to change them out. I'm not sure how they're going to do that though, because you can't really, I mean, unless you unsew that, take the stitching out and read it. I don't know how they're going to do that. But they're going to make up a set for anybody that wants to retrofit the version 3 into the version 2 Fly. But this, honestly, to me is the easiest, the most cost-effective, because those mitten clips I found on Amazon for less than $5, and I got like 10 of them. So I have plenty others left over. But all in all, I am really satisfied. I cannot wait to take this out on another trip. Let me show you. I'm just tickled about this mesh that I can put up without using 2 hands. Just roll that baby up and snap that magnet. Now, one thing I noticed, this is the second time I've set this up with the mesh. I had set it up just and used some carabiners to attach this in temporarily until I knew how I was going to retrofit that. I have noticed that this mesh touches the door here on the sides, I don't know if that's because I don't have it tight, super tight, or if that's going to be a problem. I'm just not sure. I may need to make an adjustment with that. I may need to lengthen that bungee a little bit and maybe tighten that one, and to pull this over just a hair on each end. That would just kind of go shoop like that. I'll find out after this next trip. The concern I was thinking was condensation on here. With this touching, it would rub on here and it might drip in, but probably not. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right, y'all. I am super excited. Loving how this feels. It feels. They only made this wider by 2 inches this way, and then several. I can't remember how many inches that way. But it feels like they've added 6 inches in here. It's just amazing. But I'm going to guess that strut is what's also making it feel better, because it's pulling this mesh up and back. Yeah, I think that's probably what it is. But anyway, I'm very happy about this. All right, if you want to retrofit the version 3 xmid to your version 2 fly, all you need are a few mitten hooks and just change out those buckles. All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all dropping in. Hope this helps. Y'all stay wild.